and welcome to another one of my videos. In today's video, it's going to be another professional gold dealer gives advice because I thought it was quite a popular video, and also it's kind of aptly timed. It was actually on my list of videos to do, however, it coincides with the current spot price, small time hammering. Pound an ounce. It's a fair drop. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about, should you worry about spot, or is the spot price actually relevant? Yes and no. It's a complex question, really. It's probably a loaded question because for one person it will matter, for other people it won't matter. Now, for those of you who watched my video yesterday, so what coin should I buy? I said in the video, you want to have a combination of your semi-numismatic, your numismatic, and your bullion type plays. And that is exactly for this type of reason. Now, for me, I'm not worried about the drop. It may even drop a bit more. I don't know. It's annoying because I've got stock on the books, and that's okay. I tend to load my stock book because I think it makes more money overall. But it's not like it's going to wipe me out in terms of my profit or anything like that. Essentially, what happens with someone like myself, and although that is different to lots of people who watch my channel, I doubt there's many professional dealers who do watch my channel, but for what happens for me is I've got to go back into the market and source more stock. Now, I was offered a few ounces of gold earlier, split in fractional. There was sovereigns, there was young heads, there was a couple of South African coins, there was a bit of platinum. I can get these for lean prices. So for me, I moved the goalpost in terms of what my book value is. And this may resonate with some people. Some people will have a light bulb moment with that and say, well, actually, that's just pound cost averaging. Yes, it is. I just do it on a quicker, faster, same word, a quicker, bigger scale. And I do it repeatedly every week. So when the price rises, I pay more. When the price lowers, I pay less. And this is a tactic that will work primarily in the long run. It's a great technique for accumulating wealth in the long run. If your time span, or the longer your time span is, the less the actual market going up or down, because there will be days where the market does go up by a pound an ounce. It does happen. It doesn't happen often. Statistically, as a price beat down or a price going through the roof, they're on the latter ends of the bell curve, of the pricing curve, for those of you who do stats, and that's okay. For most people, if you're making a one-off purchase, this is where you're most at risk towards spot price. Now, when you accumulate assets, you're meant to balance that risk off, and that's kind of what everyone should be doing. Now, I do this, like I said, by balancing my coins via coins that are sensitive to bullion prices, sensitive to spot, coins that are kind of sensitive but not as much, and coins that are not even related to spot. And by doing it this way, I can weather these price smackdowns, and I can also benefit when the prices rise. You can never time the market. And for those of you who say you can time the market, make a course and sell it. I can't time the market. I don't doubt there's some very, very clever individuals, probably in the top 0.11% of people in terms of intelligence, that can time the market. But this isn't a channel for those people. Those people are not going to be watching a channel like mine. They've already made their millions. That's not a problem. So no, you shouldn't really worry about spot if you load your investment portfolio in coins and other investments, if you load it properly. Now, in terms of time, like I said, the longer you hold the coins, the less it really matters. Spot price for me, and I can't speak for anyone else, but spot price for me is a bet on human greed. I think that's the right word. You want to bet that the people in power, or the bet is, should I say, the people in power will keep expanding the money supply. We know it's taught in basic economics. It was when I was at school anyway, that the inflation target is 2% a year. That is an expansion of the money supply. They want to expand it slightly, but not too much. That hasn't happened in recent times. We're currently in modern monetary theory, where apparently everything's possible, including a Loch Ness Monster and a unicorn. It's not. It's going to come home to roost. But that excess money has got to go somewhere. Why wouldn't it go into gold? So the longer you plan, or the longer you imagine holding these assets, spot price becomes less and less relevant. You know, it doesn't matter what the spot price is today. It matters what it is when you sell it. It matters on what the spread is when you sell it. You need to understand that the spread of selling coins, it differs over times as well. I was reading up on Chards' website. Apparently they used to pay like 10% over or something like that before we was in the EU. It does change. When I started selling coins, I could get them in for spot and sell them for 3%. Now I can get them in for spot on occasions now, and it comes in dribs and drabs. You know, I'll probably get some every week, but the spread has widened. So you're going to be looking at spot +4, spot +5%. Is that a case of coin dealers being greedy? I don't think it is. You know, I think that's just how the market, that's how the dice have landed on the market. Anything that's at 3% gets snapped up very quickly these days. That never used to be the case. I used to have it at spot +3%, and I'd sometimes struggle to sell my allocation of coins I got in. I used to bring my social media together with my dealer, and I'd say I'm essentially acting as a middleman. You know, it's I'll see who wants what, I'll buy from you, or I'll take the order, I'll then sell to my customers, and then I'll pay you the money that my customers pay me, and I'll take a small cut. That's not so much the case anymore. You know, I'm getting in spot on a few things, but not a lot. Now, in terms of, is spot price relevant if you're in this for the short run? If you're in this for the short run, yes, it's very relevant. For someone like me, I'm very spot price conscious. It is a moving goalpost for me, but on days of smackdowns like today, you know, I've now got to buy more stock. I'm very conscious of the spot price because I've got to have the necessary reserve so I can trade out of that situation. Most people can't do that. It's not possible for most people to do that. This is a money game. You need to have a lot of money to weather these storms and do what I do. There's a lot of people who say to me, "Hey Sean, can you teach me or tell me how to be a coin dealer?" And I'm like, I got no problem with that. You know, anyone who watches my videos knows that I want to put this information out there so people can make a bit of extra money. But the reality is, to take it from making beer tokens to making really good money, you need a lot of money. Most people can't find it. So you got to borrow it. And if you borrow it, it adds extra stress onto you, onto the business of trading coins. So just to recap, yes, spot is relevant if you're in it for the short run. It's also more relevant if your portfolio is based purely around bullion. That's when it's going to hurt you the most when you have a smackdown, and that's when it's going to be most pleasurable, I guess, or profitable when you have the price hikes. But you put in too much risk into one type of area of the market. It's higher risk and higher reward. Now, people have said to me, gold's not that risky, or silver's not that risky. That's based on your time frame, how much you have of each individual asset type, such as bullion, semi-numismatic, or numismatic plays. And it's also based around what the rest of your portfolio is. Now, if you're planning for an event such as World War III, Z, zombie apocalypse, you know, whatever, aliens taking over, and you think gold price will skyrocket, you're probably going to want bullion. But these are the types of people that these are stacking for that event. They're less price sensitive to spot anyway. You know, if you're buying it with the idea you might have to have a cash call and you might have to flip. My hair's really annoying me. I'm sorry about that. You might have a cash call. You might have to flip it relatively quickly. You are very price sensitive to spot. Make no bones about that. It's going to affect you on days like this. There's always going to be occasions where the States or the UK or Europe puts out these trading figures, whether they're good or bad, and it's going to affect the price up or down, and there's going to be a fair swing, and that's okay. But you need to plan it accordingly. Now, if you're someone like me who has the supply chain, who has the money to take advantage of these price dips, it's fine. Spot price can be very lucrative for you. It's a double-edged sword. If also, like me, you hold a lot of stock, you can see the value of your stock lose a lot of value, and you've got to start trading it around. You've got to start picking apart individual parts of your stack, or your stock in my case, and you've got to work around it until you can kind of fix it. Lastly, I want to say that with spot price, it's best if you have a goal in terms of ounces. Now, I've said to people in the past, you should cost average. I don't believe you should make one-off purchases, like big one-off purchases. I think you're more likely to be at risk of making a loss and or a profit. If you've got the excess funds to do that, say you've got a lot of wealth and you want to slap 50k down on coin and make it a one-off investment, then that's fine. So the smaller amount of wealth you have, the more risk you are taking on, the more likely you're going to get hurt by the spot price should it go down. You shouldn't do that. Or in my mind, you shouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense for someone who's got, say, an inheritance of £5,000, they've got no other assets, to slap 5k down in one go, because the cost efficiencies you're going to get in terms of buying in bulk, and I'll give people a slight discount if they're buying 5k worth of gold, it's not a problem. You're going to increase your risk, and that's not something you necessarily want, and it's certainly something that you have to think about when buying. So in answer to whether you should worry about the spot price, that all depends on your individual position, how you've bought, and your time frame. It's not a silver bullet, it's not a one size fits all, and you certainly need to plan these things. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If anyone feels I've missed anything from this episode, please feel free to say. I'm more than happy to try to fill in any gaps in knowledge that I've kind of left out. And I hope to see you on the next one.